Marcus stared at his gym membership card for the fourth month in a row, collecting dust in his wallet. He'd bought it with such optimism, convinced this would be the start of his transformation, but here he was 4 months later, and he hadn't walked through those doors once. Twice per week, like clockwork, he'd drive to the gym parking lot during his lunch break. He'd sit in his car for 10 minutes watching people walk in and out through the glass windows. They all looked so confident, so strong, so like they belonged there. He convinced himself that everyone would stare at him, judge his form, whisper about the beginner who didn't know what he was doing. He told himself he needed to get in shape before going to the gym, missing the obvious irony that the gym existed precisely to help him get in shape. So he'd sit there, paralyzed by fear, then drive home feeling defeated. I'm Youssef, and I've got your raw daily fuel for today. One quiet morning, Marcus finally forced himself to walk through those intimidating glass doors. He was terrified, certain that every eye would turn toward him. But something strange happened. Not a single person even glanced in his direction. Everyone was completely absorbed in their own workouts, their own struggles, their own mirror checks between sets. The gym intimidation that had kept him away for 4 months was completely in his head. Today we're talking about the psychological barriers that keep millions of people from starting their fitness journeys and the 5 practical strategies to overcome them. Here's what Marcus didn't understand about gym intimidation. It's a classic example of the spotlight effect. This is the psychological phenomenon where you believe others are paying much more attention to you than they actually are. You think everyone is watching and judging your every move. Reality? Everyone is focused on their own workout, their own form concerns, their own insecurities. In Morocco, we understand that community strength comes from lifting each other up, not tearing each other down. The gym community operates on the same principle, but fear keeps you from discovering this truth. Let me give you 5 practical strategies to overcome gym intimidation and walk through that door with confidence. First, go during off-peak hours initially. Early morning from 5 to 7 a.m. or mid-afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m. means fewer people, less overwhelming environment, and more space to build confidence gradually. Once you're comfortable with the equipment and routine, you can expand to busier times. Second, have a written plan before you walk in. Write down your exercises, sets and reps ahead of time. Looking purposeful equals looking confident. This eliminates standing around confused, which triggers self-consciousness. When you know exactly what you're doing, you project confidence even as a beginner. Third, start with machines before progressing to free weights. Machines have instructions posted right on them, fixed movement paths, and are far less intimidating than the free weights area. Build your confidence and strength on machines, then progress to barbells and dumbbells when you're ready. Fourth, ask for help respectfully and you'll discover something amazing. Most gym-goers love helping beginners. A simple, "Excuse me, could you show me how to adjust this machine?" Or, "Can you check my form on this exercise?" creates instant connection and breaks that feeling of isolation. People want to help because they remember being beginners themselves. Fifth, remember that everyone was a beginner once. That muscular person doing heavy squats started with an empty bar years ago, feeling just as intimidated as you feel right now. The gym community is generally supportive because everyone remembers the struggle of starting. Here's the psychological truth behind gym intimidation. The spotlight effect means you think everyone is watching you, but they're actually worried about being watched themselves. Studies show people overestimate how much others notice them by 200 to 300%. Survey data reveals that 50% of gym beginners feel intimidated initially. But here's the encouraging part. Within 4 weeks of consistent attendance, intimidation drops to under 10%. Familiarity breeds confidence. The fear keeps you from starting, but starting eliminates the fear. Your practical framework is simple. Commit to 2 weeks of off-peak attendance with written workout plans. By week 3, expand to different times. By week 4, you'll wonder why you were ever intimidated in the first place. Marcus's transformation proved this timeline perfectly. His first visit was 20 minutes on the treadmill, terrified the entire time. Week 2, he started using machines with his written plan. Week 3, he asked someone for a form check and made his first gym friend. By week 4, he was comfortable during peak hours and even helped another nervous beginner adjust a machine. The gym intimidation that paralyzed him for 4 months disappeared in 4 weeks of consistent action. Your challenge this week depends on where you are in your journey. If you've been avoiding the gym due to intimidation, commit to one off-peak visit with a simple written plan, even if it's just 20 minutes on cardio equipment. If you're already comfortable at the gym, look for someone who seems nervous and offer a friendly smile or word of encouragement. I'm Youssef, and that's your Raw Daily Fuel. Remember, in Morocco, we say the first step through the door is harder than the heaviest weight you'll ever lift. The gym isn't judging you. Your fear is. Walk through that door. If this resonated with you, subscribe to Raw Daily Fuel. Diverse voices, global perspectives, one mission, giving you the courage to take the first step